Hello and welcome to SD Reviews. My name is Sash. So since posting my last fountain pen video, I had a number of comments from my viewers and also the wider community in regards to other recommendations. And one was, well, Sash, why haven't you got your hands on a TWSBI fountain pen? You won't regret it. So naturally, that's what I did. I went out and purchased my first TWSBI fountain pen, and I just wanted to take you through I suppose my experience with it from day dot. So I haven't inked this pen yet, I haven't tried it yet, and I wanted to share it with my viewers and give you my thoughts, particularly that this is the TWSBI Go, which is one of the cheapest fountain pens, but I also have a TWSBI Go coming down, which I'll then be able to run a bit of a comparison. But without further ado, thanks for tuning in, and let's have a look what this bad boy's like, and I'll link it up first and we'll take it for a bit of a test drive. So for the very exciting unboxing, well not really, because I'm going to take it out of the box, it comes with this lovely cardboard container which is there, and then once you open it up you will see the actual fountain pen protected by a little spongy square, and you would have seen already some potential TWSBI Go unboxings, but it's got a very basic manual, so we won't look into it too much because let's see if we can figure it out. As I dare say, it's not very complicated. So if I take that out, what you got here is a very, well, basic plastic pen. Not cheap plastic, but nevertheless it is a plastic pen. We can't hide what it is. I got the smoke barrel. It came in a blue and I think a clear. I do like this because it was a little bit different. You can see the spring mechanism inside that, which is basically the vacuum or the pump to fill up the ink, and a plastic lid, which you may or may not be aware, but these plastic lids, it doesn't actually have a clip on it. It's just got a little little slot there that you can put a lanyard of some sort, and perhaps it would also stop it from rolling around on the desk, which, well, there we go, it does its job. See? There we go, it stopped. And you've got the Go, whoop, that's my fingers. You also have the Go logo there. Yeah, TWSBI Go. Anyway, actually that's one thing I do like on this already, is the top of the cap, the emblem. Looks like something out of the Avengers. Anyway, so what I wanted to do today was basically fill up the ink in the pen, and then take it for a bit of a test drive and see what we think. Not make a big mess on the desk, because I normally tend to do this in the kitchen, believe it or not, so it's easy to clean up, but I'll take one for the team. This is the ink that I've just purchased, which is fountain pen ink by Diamine Inks, which is a Kelly green. The reason I purchased the green was that I've got a lot of sort of blue blacks and blue black colours, and I've seen a lot of reviews by others out there that put a green colour ink in the pen, which probably the smoky colour won't do it any justice. But if I was to, for example, use it in my Pilot Prera or my Lamy, which is totally clear, it's going to look, well, I think pretty cool. Actually, one pen that I did want to put a green ink in, if you excuse the shuffle, is the Moonman. And again, reason being is that because this is a very, very clear pen, which currently has the black ink in it, I think it's going to look awesome. Anyway, so let's see how this thing works. Pull the cap off it, and I did opt in for the medium nib, which is a bit hard to focus, but it is the medium nib, taking word for it. So what you're supposed to do, according to the instructions that I briefly had a look at, is unscrew the pen, dunk the pen in the ink, press down the spring, and then as you let go, it fills up with ink. So let's test it and see if it's that simple, and if we cannot make a mess. Let me see if I can fill it up. It's not the best angle that I've got the camera on, but for the sake of this exercise, let's see if I can fill it up without making too much mess, and see if I can even fit the pen in the bottle. So 1, 2, 3, and look what I've done. Absolutely nothing. Take 2. Maybe it's got to go a bit deeper. Ooh, that was satisfying. I don't know if you heard that. So that's full. Let me just do it one more time. That's cool. That was too easy. That was really, really easy. Literally just press the spring, and before you know it, you have ink in the pen. And it's actually quite full. It does fit a lot of ink in there. As you can see, it's sort of wobbling around right about there. Let me just give it a bit of a wipe so we don't make a mess. Okay, maybe too much of a wipe. Okie dokie. Put the back on it, and I'm just going to cap it for 1 sec, so I'll put this bottle away. So just for the record, there's been no trick photography. I literally just got a notepad back in the desk so I can test it. I haven't started writing with it, so I'm just going to see if it's going to take some time or not. It's not a twist top cap, it's just a push in and push out. It's quite solid. The actual pen is it's a thick pen, so if you like thick pens, this is pretty cool already. And it feels very solid. Although plastic, it's a strong plastic. Okay, and it's got this little patterns on the actual cap as well, almost like little, I don't know, triangles or whatnot, but it does have a bit of texture on it too, which stops it from rolling. Okay, pull it. Oh no, what a mess. There we go. We have a blotch already. Good work, Sash. Has it bled through? Mind you, this is not a fountain paper by any means, it's just a normal exercise book. Has that bled through? Nah. Anyway, so let's test the writing. Oh, it's comfy. I do like the grip of it. It's quite thick. There's no triangles like the Lemmys or anything, but it's still very thick, and it does have this little, where are we? Come on, focus, camera. It does have these little stoppers here where your fingers will rest. Anyway, enough talking, more writing. Let's have a look. Now, I do have high expectations of these TWSBIs. The fact that I'm writing straight away is a good sign, and it inks up quickly. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I'm not sure that you can see from the angle. Not sure that the green's the best example. I expected a bit more smoothness. Let me just test something. So I'm just going to put this away. Oh, one thing I do not like is a dirty pen, especially when it's a brand new one and you've just opened it and you've got ink all over the cap. This is what I'm trying to do right now, just give it a bit of a clean. Anyway, I'll just get that back on. One of my favourite pens to write with is the Pilot Prera, which I've done a review on, but I just want to see how the nib feels on paper with this one. Okay, no, it's just a paper. It's a bit scratchy, so I'm putting it down to paper because normally this pen writes phenomenal. So put that away. Let's see if I take it out. Am I going to splash ink again? I am. What is going on? Either I've done something wrong or I'm not sure. Maybe you, my lovely viewers, can tell me what seems to be the problem, but every time I take it out there's excess ink spraying everywhere, and I'm not about to clean the lid every 5 minutes. Oh, and it's inside too. In there, that's going to annoy Sash. I mean, I'm talking like a third person. I don't know, is it because I've got ink over here too? I can't see why it's, oh my goodness. So if you shake it, there's ink coming out. Now, I'm no ink expert, I'm no fountain pen expert. I dare say that's not normal unless I haven't dried it properly. I just do this. Nope. It's still dripping. I might have to do a bit of research. I don't know. It's definitely not normal because none of my other fountain pens do this. I don't know if it's a fault. I don't know if the nib needs to be pushed in. FYI, this is a medium nib. So from a writing experience, it's nice. I was umming and ahhing between the medium and the fine nibs. I opted for the medium. I was worried the fine may be too scratchy. So yeah, it's comfy. It's not. It's actually a pleasure to write with, to be honest with you. It is very. It is stopping. I'm not sure why it's stopping. There's a lot of, I'm not sure. This is why sometimes I prefer to test the pens before I do a review, just in case it's a user error. But in this case, I wanted to do it. Well, it's not live, but it's raw. It's not been edited. Wow, look at that. That's crap. What is going on here? All right. I'm gonna have to look into this. This is not enjoyable. I'm not about to make a mess every time I want to write something, so I'm going to have to look into why it's dripping. I'm not sure if the nib needs to be pushed in. I'm not sure if I've done something wrong, but I'm not sure how you can get that wrong. You just fill up the bloody pen and start writing. Any more complicated than that, then I'm not interested. So this hasn't left a good impression on me for a first instance, but let's give it a day or so, and I'm going to find out what I'm doing wrong, if anything, and if I've done something wrong, then it's my bad. But if it is a faulty pen, then I'm going to make sure it gets replaced. So in addition to my previous Sugilala whinge, well, I pressed the nib back in the pen a little bit with a tissue, and now it appears not to be leaking. Problem solved. Sash, you should be a technician. No, that's a negative. I like it. Am I over the moon? Nah. Am I enjoying the experience? Yes, it's very comfortable. And the fact that it's this size here, I feel like it doesn't need to be posted. So it is it's quite a decent length pen. You can if you want to. Although when you post it and you put the lid on top, it's very tight. I feel like if you press any harder, the lid might, as opposed to may, break. And it actually looks stupid. Posted, it's way too big. It looks like something that a giant would be using. So let's just take that out, and we'll leave it like this. The fact that I don't have to unscrew and screw makes it a lot easier. Sometimes with some of my fountain pens, I forget whether it's a screw top or a pop out, and you got to think twice before you do it so you don't stuff it up. But this one, push in, pull out. Okay, now I'm starting to like it a little bit better, and I'm just wondering whether I should have opted in for the nib that's fine versus the medium, because I don't own any fine ones, but I'm not about to spend more money. So yeah, okay. So after that slight panic attack, it's quite funny when I took the lid off and put it back on, I found it at the bottom. Hopefully it hasn't done it again because it's going to annoy me. Nope. At the bottom of this of the lid, there was a collection of ink, obviously when it was dripping, and I couldn't get to it to clean it, so I gave it a bit of a upside down tap and it all went on a tissue. So that was pretty annoying and not first great experience, but I'm not going to complain too much about it because it was my first time doing this on camera. I think I'll be a little bit more cautious next time, and maybe just a bit of a manufacturer's fault on how they've put the nib in. First impressions is it's a pretty cool pen. I've always wanted a TWSBI pen, but then I thought, well, I've got way too many fountain pens as it is. To others out there may not be too many, but for me it is a fair few. I mean, you can only write at any given time with one. So far so good now. I'm looking forward to using it. I'm actually looking forward to trying the Eco as well. That's coming up for for a birthday present that I've already put a bit of a request, and for no other reason is that was, from my own research, that was the most popular TWSBI pen. It had awesome reviews. I'm aware that the nibs are the same on the Go and the Eco, but it just looks that little bit more luxurious, or perhaps a little bit more expensive, and it is a bit more expensive than the Go. I paid 36 Australian dollars for this one, and I think the Eco goes for about 55 or so dollars. So it is slightly more premium. I expect a little bit better quality as a result as well. But this one here, it's thick. If I even compare it to the Lamy, which is this here, and you know, any enthusiast of fountain pens will know what Lamy is. Although the Lamy does have that triangle, well, it's not even a triangle, whatever, a comfort fit on your fingers, it's thinner. The top of the pen, it's got the flat side and the curved side. It's thinner. This one here feels like you're holding, well, I don't even know what it feels like you're holding, but you're holding something thick and fat and chunky, and it actually feels quite nice, especially if you've got large hands and fingers like me. It's very, very comfy. If you don't like very thick pens, and again, this is my opinion of thick, maybe this is not for you, but for me, yeah, it's quite good. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the most affordable of the TWSBI pens, the Go. It does have a spring-loaded piston, so that's I showed you earlier around filling it up. It's a spring-loaded piston. Hopefully these springs last a long time, but then I suppose not much can go wrong with them, and how often do you refill it when you've got a lot of pens to? Anyway, I'm just going to have a look to the side for the nibs. So the nibs come in extra fine, fine, medium, bald, stub 1.1. So there's a couple of options. This is a medium. Actually, all my fountain pens are medium except for one. I'm now thinking that the next pen I get post the TWSBI will be a fine. I really want to compare and see if I do enjoy that thinner writing, or is it going to be more scratchy. That's one thing I don't like. I like a smooth pen when you put it to paper. I don't want that scratchy sensation, or when it's super fine. The only benefit I can imagine is that there won't get any bleed through the other side of the pages if it's a fine pen. But I could be wrong, and I'm happy for you to coach me on this too. I am reasonably new to fountain pens. I have been collecting them, for some time, but by all means, I'm no expert. I might not even use the right terminology. I'm just a regular bloke that enjoys a few gadgets. So, in conclusion, so far so good. Perhaps I need to use it for a few days and then really decide whether it is for me. The fact that I'm trying a new ink as well, it's probably not ideal when you're trying a new pen. And the color's quite nice, the green, I like it, but it wouldn't be a daily driver. So yeah, just one slight observation, and something that may or may not be interesting to my viewers out there. If I compare it back to the Lamy that I showed you earlier, so comparison wise, the Lamy sits a little bit taller. I'm not going to measure it, you know, it's a couple of, probably about 5 mil or so, but anyway, it sits a bit taller. Now, when I take the cap off the Lamy, I'm all paranoid now that when I pulled it, the TWSBI's going to spray ink everywhere, but it hasn't. And when I put them side by side, the Lamy is still slightly taller, right? But this is where it gets interesting. As soon as you post a cap on it, the Lamy goes in probably a good 1.5 centimeters, whereas the TWSBI not even 1 centimeter. So all of a sudden now, we posted, here's the Lamy and here's the TWSBI side by side, and that's posted. So as you can see, it is quite longer with the lid on, and in my opinion, it looks, well, it's not it looks ugly. I don't know, it feels like it just doesn't belong there. It feels like you forced it to sort of go on, but it's going to crack if you press it too hard. So I'm definitely not going to be posting that. Oh, just one more thing to add. If you don't own one of these pens, the grip section of the TWSBI, I hope that's how I pronounce it too, is a different plastic to the body. And this here almost feels, it's not rubber, it's not rubbery, but it does have a much softer and more comfortable texture on it. You may even be able to see the fact that it's you know, sort of like a frosted color, but it's like a soft plastic polycarbonate or something. Anyway, just an observation. That'll be enough of that. I'll let you go back to your bits and pieces. Thanks for tuning in once again. And this is Sash signing out. Take care and brush your hair. Goodbye.